Hello and welcome into Bearcat Update here on KNWT Channel 8. I'm your host Max Moore, and last weekend was homecoming here in Maryville. Good times were had by all in green and white. Well, at least I did. From the variety shows on Thursday and Friday to the football game on Saturday, there was plenty to do and experience. One of the great things one can do during homecoming is attend the Saturday festivities. The day starts off early with the homecoming parade, and the day ends with, well, I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that one. The football game is the centerpiece of those Saturday festivities. A little over 8,000 people attend that game, and it seemed like all 8,000 of those people participated in another Maryville tradition, tailgating. Our reporter Maya Dutho-Walpert and I caught up with some tailgaters Saturday, and we even saw an old friend. And look who we found here, the former host of Bearcat Update, the one and the only Tim Hanna. Tim, what's it like being back here in Maryville at homecoming?
It's a lot of fun. I know, obviously, everyone knows it's a family atmosphere. I'm going to sound like a broken record like everyone else you're probably going to talk to, but it's great coming back. Literally, there hasn't been a moment where I haven't seen somebody and got super excited because I haven't seen them in a long time, and that's just kind of what Maryville is.
So what's it like seeing the people that come back and may have graduated and now coming back? What's it like to see them back in town?
You just wonder if it's homecoming or like a family dinner or something. Whose birthday is it? I don't know.
We ran into some people that are some alumni here. Guys, what's it like being back at homecoming?
Crazy, because it's just got such a good college town spirit, and homecoming's probably the best weekend as an alumni to come down, so we're just really happy to be back and watch some Bearcat football.
It's just so surreal. I love seeing everybody that I haven't seen in so long. I mean, yes, I just graduated in the spring, but it's different, and it's so nice seeing everybody just reconnect and stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, it's great seeing all my friends. It's like we never left.
What's it like being out here instead of on the field?
It's definitely a great experience to see all the love and family atmosphere and everything back here. I've never got to experience it, but it's definitely something that I've never imagined to be like this. It's a crazy time. Everybody loves everybody, and I'm excited for the rest of the day.
What's it like playing on homecoming?
It's a great experience. You know, all these fans come out. They're in full effect tonight, or this morning, I should say. But it's a great experience. You know, I loved it so much. Definitely one of my highlights of the year.
Do you have any score predictions today?
A Bearcat win, that's for sure.
Bearcats by 90.
Cats by 90!
Cats by 90.
Cats by 90. And we caught the action, so let's see how the homecoming game went between the Bearcats and the Lions. Let's start things off with Anthony Lane and Ben Altoff reading the play well. Nice tackle for loss. Adds to Ben Altoff's 10 total tackles. There's Jordan Thompson from 2 yards out, giving the Bearcats a 19-0 lead at the half. And it's all about defense here as Austin Eskew gets the sack there. Bobby Grenlow will rack up his 8th sack of the season. Here's Jared Bishop making his return last week and makes a nice play there. And for the 4th sack on the day, Ben Spaeth adding to his total there. And Northwest will shut out Lindenwood 19-0 on homecoming. As Ben Altoff, as I said earlier, he had 10 total tackles along with Jordan Thompson, who had 72 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. The Bearcats still lead the MIAA following Fort Hays State at 8-0. Central Missouri follows at 6-2 and Washburn at 5-3. Central Oklahoma and Emporia State are there at 4-4. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more here on KNWT Channel 8. And welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm Max Moore, and we have Coach's Corner here coming up. And I'm joined by one of my favorite people on this planet. I say that every week, but we just bring on a lot of great people. Senior from Mount Vernon, Missouri, Shane Williams, wide receiver, number 80. Shane, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks, Max.
So last weekend, or this past weekend, homecoming, you had a big game against the Lions. What kind of went into the preparation this week to get you the ball, I guess maybe more, or just kind of had the game plan?
Well, I mean, I missed the last couple weeks from an ankle injury, and so it was really nice to be just back out there with the guys and stuff. And preparation went pretty much as normal, as usual, and just getting on the same page with Zach and, and talking with the coaches and just making sure that our offense can, run smoothly, and kind of took it as we normally would on a week.
You talk about your injury that you had, and it took a couple of weeks for you to get back to your playing, conditioning. How hard is it to not only get your ankle to where it's fine, but then getting that extra conditioning to be back to where you once were?
Yeah, Joe Quinlan took care of me on that, to make sure I was ready each week, and so it was just making sure that I was ready to go and not push it back. I wanted to come back a couple games ago, but they wanted me to be smart about it, and that's kind of the way I had to handle it.
Well, it certainly was nice that you were able to win an award, actually, the Don Black Award for the MVP of the homecoming game. What's that like to be able to win an award like that, especially on homecoming and when it's just your family was in town? I saw them. Yep. And what's it kind of like to be able to win that award with all of that going on? Yeah,
it's a cool award. I mean, there's a lot of really popular Bearcats have won that in the past and stuff. And so it's a cool award, and I think it speaks a lot about our offense, But I got to get the award from Ozzy, and that was kind of cool. I got to get the award from Ozzy, and that was kind of cool. And it's cool to win the award, just because it speaks a lot about Zach as our quarterback and our offensive line and stuff like that.
What is homecoming like? I mean, I know what playing on homecoming is like. You know what playing on homecoming is like. But the people may not know exactly what it's like to be on the field and playing. How could you tell them what it's like to be able to be in front of that big crowd and on that day where it seems like everybody's back in town?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see the former players that I got to play with and stuff, and to see them on the sideline hollering at you and stuff, and it's cool. And just homecoming atmosphere, there's just that that parade going on that we see when we're doing our breakfast in the morning, and just that extra atmosphere at the games, and it makes playing out there a lot of fun, even more than it already is.
And homecoming is obviously a big family thing, and I have down here your sister was basketball stud at Missouri State.
She was, yes.
And your brother Trace, little brother Trace, is a sophomore at William Jewell, shot put, discus, and I'm sure probably dabbles into hammer and jav and whatnot. What's it like being in a family full of athletes, especially just among your siblings first?
I mean, it's great. We grew up as a real competitive family, always going against each other and stuff, and that was, that's, I think, a little bit of credit of why I, am able to play college football at a place like this and stuff, and it's great. I mean, we all support each other, and I think that's what makes our family kind of special.
Now, I have that your mom played basketball at Missouri Southern. What was that like? Did she kind of give you advice as far as kind of how to play, or what kind of maybe the college athlete mentality was when you first got to Northwest?
Oh yeah, I mean, my mom is my biggest fan, without a doubt. There's no one that loves Bearcat football the way she does and stuff, and and she's taught me a lot through my time, and more. She teaches me more in life than anything, and she's great to have in my corner, and I'm always learning from her.
So we have your siblings, your mom. You got a lot of people that are very athletic in your family. Who is probably the most athletic? And I don't want you to hold back if it's truly you, if it's truly your sister, if truly your brother, your mom. Who is the most athletic person?
Definitely me.
You?
Yeah, my sister is very skilled. She's amazing basketball player, way better basketball player than I was. But just overall athleticism, definitely me, yeah.
All right, well, actually, I want to know, what was your favorite sport, or I guess what was your best sport growing up that probably wasn't football, that you probably beat your brother and your sister in?
Track.
Track?
I did track through high school, and I was pretty solid at it, yeah.
100-meter guy?
Long jump, triple jump, and high jump.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What was your high jump mark?
I was like 6'6" or something like that, yeah.
Just 6'6",
Yeah, just
taller
6'6".
than me. He can jump over me, folks. Well, Shane, that's all the time we have. Thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Congrats on the victory, and good luck against Pittsburgh State.
Thank you very much.
And that's all the time we have for our Coach's Corner. Be sure to stay tuned after the break for more on Bearcat Update. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm your host, Max Moore, and sports have a lot of storylines throughout a given game. But sometimes the story reaches further than just the field of play. Our reporter Hannah Ryan shows us a story of a Maryville High School student who leaves an impact on the team.
Maryville High School football team has acquired a new addition to their sideline staff this season. Freshman Kendall Harkriger is now the manager for the Spoofhounds. Though Kendall may not be on the field making plays, he still contributes his positivity to everyone on the team.
Oh, Kendall gives off a great vibe. He's always there no matter what, It's fun having him on there. I mean, he's a good kid and he does all he can for the team.
Kendall was recruited by Spoofhound head coach Matt Webb last spring. Coach Webb noticed Kendall's hard work and dedication as the middle school manager and wanted to bring that to his squad.
He's just made a tremendous impact on not only us coaches and help, but our players. And he's earned a lot of respect from everybody on our team, and that's something pretty special when you're a freshman in high school, and you've got some older guys that are on our football team that really value what he gives us as a football program, and that's great passion, great effort. Anything you need on the practice field, Kendall's been my right-hand man since early June, since we went to summer camps.
Kendall's passion for football roots deeper than the game itself. It stems from the relationships the game has brought to him.
I like about football that you can just it's not really the part about the hitting. It's about being with friends and getting outside and just doing what you like. I mean, football is something I like, and no matter if you can play it or not, you'll still be able to like it.
The energy Kendall has brought to the field is more than the team could ask for. His love and passion for the game is clear every day he steps on that sideline. Though he is not the star player, he is the key to the team's attitude to push through trials they may face during the game. For Bearcat Update, I'm Hannah Ryan.
The Spoofhounds look to start its postseason campaign on a big note. Following a thrilling win over a stout Lafayette Fighting Irish squad, the team hosted Lincoln College Prep in the first round of the district tournament. Let's check out the action here as the Spoofhounds run into the Hound Pound, looking to get that opening victory of districts against Lincoln College Prep. Cade Gustafson blocks for Brady Atwell, who runs it into the end zone to start the game off right for the Spoofhounds. And Jacob Bruder's going to nail a field goal right here to give the Spoofhounds an extra cushion on that lead. Here's Tyler Houchin running it into the end zone for a touchdown. There's our guy Kendall holding up that juice box for the dunk. Nice little windmill jam there. Eli Dallas weaves his way through multiple players to get some points for the Spoofhounds. And here we go with another dunk, a nice little simple one. Not quite the spectacular one we had earlier. Stokline gives it into the end zone for a touchdown, and the crowd was pleased. They probably expected this one to happen. And here's Jacob Adams for another touchdown for the Spoofhounds. Man, just an overall dominating performance by the Spoofhounds. And just when Lincoln College Prep wanted to get something going, Brady Atwell says, nope, fumble, touchdown, Spoofhounds. They will win that game 69-26 and advance into the next round of the playoffs. Eli Dallas had 60-plus rushing yards with 2 touchdowns. Tyler Houchin had 82 total rushing yards with just 4 attempts in 1 yard. That's impressive, folks. Spoofhounds now take on St. Pius X, and the winner in that game will take on the winner of Chillicothe and Pembroke Hill. Coach Webb talked after the game about improving, even though they blow out these teams.
Well, I think you find ways to challenge ourselves, and we practice, really well this week, and that's the goal every week. But especially this time of year, you want to stay healthy. The team that can make a deep run in the playoffs is usually a healthy team, and they're also motivated, and they're also fresh. And so there's a balancing act there to make sure that you're getting your looks, you're competing against each other, but at the same time, you're healthy. You're not beating them up too much. Legs are fresh, and at the same time they're motivated. And our guys are right now doing a really good job of taking care of each other and being great teammates. We talk about a lot. So it's a delicate balancing act there to make sure that you're fresh and at the same time ready to play.
And we're going to take one last break, but stay tuned. You won't want to miss this week's sibling profile coming up on the other side. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm your host, Max Moore, and the Northwest volleyball team was in action over the weekend. They hosted Washburn University on Friday, needing a good win following a tough match against Central Oklahoma. We got the highlights from that one, so let's check out that matchup. The Bearcats would take on the Ichabods of Washburn. Still not quite sure what an Ichabod is, but nonetheless, they still traveled to Maryville and they gave the Bearcats a game. Start things off there with a nice kill by the Bearcats. Bearcats had a lot of kills. Maddie Bruder led the way with 19, Sophia Sleppenbach with 10, and Darcy Sunderman with 8. And it was apparent there with Maddie Bruder slamming that one home, putting a dent in that brand new court, it seems like. There were a lot of digs in this game for the Bearcats. Olivia Nowakowski, big time digger. I don't know if that's a term, but Olivia Nowakowski had 29 total. Bruder had 17. And Darcy Sunderman had 9. And here's a nice little tap over there for the Cats. The Ichabods tried to send one back over, but it will not work as a nice little tap again. Nice little creative plays for these Bearcats. And the Bearcats would end up winning this one 3-1 as they improved their record there to 12-10 overall. And next Saturday, they played Emporia State and won that match 3-0, bringing their total record to 13-10 and 7-4 in MIAA play. Maddie Bruder had 32 total kills over the weekend. Dilly dilly. Now let's transition to the Bearcat soccer team who were on the road last week. The Bearcats played Emporia State and won that match 1-0 behind a goal by Bree Wariorka. The Cats then traveled to Topeka to take on the Washburn Ichabods, and again, they still don't know who the Ichabods are, and lost that game, unfortunately, by a score of 2-1. Last week, we started a series highlighting the siblings of Bearcat sports. Last week, we started with the Eskew brothers on the football team. This week, we highlight the Doherty brothers on the basketball team.
I remember when we got here, Devontae Mosby was actually saying, like, it's weird for me to see you guys getting along so well because me and my brother just clash so much, but it wasn't weird for us because we've never really had a problem getting along.
Northwest basketball players Brett and Tyler Doherty have always truly embodied the Northwest motto of family.
Like every once in a while I'll stop and kind of realize like it's kind of unique, but to us it's like that's how it's always been. So I really don't think of it as any different. It's cool to be able to have somebody along kind of for that ride.
The Doherty brothers claim they have always gotten along pretty well, even if Dad had to step in once in a while to settle differences.
It came to the point where Dad wouldn't even let us play because it wouldn't be anything he said, but I'd be so, I don't know, competitive that if I did anything wrong and he's on the other end of the sticks, he'd make like a face and I'd see it out of the corner of my eye. And then I'd just start yelling at him. It'd end in fights all the time. I didn't take losing very well for a long time, especially your older brother. So,
despite the occasional sibling dispute, it seemed the Doherty brothers would always value brotherly love and friendship, which eventually led to sharing the same college and same basketball court.
We played together a little bit in AAU when we were younger, and then in high school it was a cool thing because we got on the floor at the same time. I think we started when I was a senior and he was a sophomore at the same time. And then coming here, obviously we're still playing together.
So from the start it was a pretty easy decision, and it did have to do a lot with Brett. Not only because he's my brother and I'm used to that, but also because all the things he said were positive things and things that I saw myself fitting in well here. So,
for Bearcat Update, I'm Boston Schneider.
Thanks, Boston. And let's take a look now what's coming up in this week for Bearcat sports. The Missouri Western Griffins come into town to take on the Bearcat volleyball team in a rematch of the match they had earlier in the year. Maybe Amari Martin wants to come up and watch that one as he gets to probably experience a real college town, unlike being down south. On Friday, the Bearcats host the Griffins in soccer, and Northwest takes on Central Missouri in a big matchup between a volleyball powerhouse in Central Missouri. And the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats take on Duke University. And yes, you read that right and heard that right. That's Duke University, the #1 ranked Division I team against the #1 ranked Division II team in an exhibition match to start off the year. And on Saturday, the football team takes on Pittsburgh State down in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and the Lindenwood Lions come into town for a match against the volleyball team. That's all the time we have on the program, and on behalf of our fantastic crew on Bearcat Update, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us at Bearcat Update_8 on Twitter and on KNWT Channel 8 on our YouTube page. Remember, each day you either get better or you get worse. You never stay the same. Good night.